Yeah, I'll introduce myself again because I forgot to record. So as you already know, my name is Abdul Rahman. I've been doing real estate agent services for a long time. I used to be a flipper and a rehabber before, and during this process, I actually bought and sold multiple houses, and I had to deal with realtors who didn't had good knowledge, were not proactive, were not able to give me proper advice. So that motivated me to become a realtor myself. And I used to buy properties and sell properties myself for my own business of construction. Then later I decided that there are many other people out there who also needed my help. And I decided to provide my services to other people as well. And now I don't really care about if somebody wants to hire me for my service or not, but I always make sure that everybody knows what they're doing and the steps they should actually follow. So first, you have to go through a pre-qualification process. If you have cash, then you can buy a home with your cash. But if you want to know like how much you qualify for a loan, then you just make sure that how much you qualify. So the most important thing is you find a lender, right? Um, get reviews. Sometimes your agent knows a lender as well. I know a couple of lenders. I usually use like Guidance and UIF, a couple of homes that I bought from them. There are good in different ways, and there are pros and cons of each of them, but a lot of people are actually also go with regular financing as well. And then you compare rates with the people. So if I have like 2 3 lenders, lender A, lender B, I would give the home value to him, and I will give my credit and get pre-qualified with both of them. And I will ask them is what would be the profit rate or interest rate that you're going to charge me for this amount of loan. And they will have like difference. I'll tell them that I'm shopping around. I'm going through multiple different people. And if you don't give me a good rate and somebody else is going to offer me a better rate, I'm just going to go with them. You have to make sure that you tell them about this, because if you don't tell them, then they're going to think that they are the only person that you know, and they're going to give you the high rate. So you always make sure that you tell them I'm shopping around. I really don't care about getting loan from you or not. Wherever I go cheaper rate, I'll just go with that lender. So they will come up with the best rate possible that they can come up with. And you can create a competition between the two lenders. If you're working with more than one lender, you can say this lender is offering me 4.3, you're offering me 4.5. Then the other lender will try to come to the 4.2 or 4.25. Then you get your loan, and get reviews from the people. So ask them, do you know anybody who actually bought home through your financing company? Talk to them. And then get pre-approval letter of maximum amount. The big problem that I have right now with many people is if somebody wanted to buy a home for $400,000, they would get a pre-qualification letter for $400,000. And if they found a home that is $400,000, um, and there are like 10 different offers, and we have to make an offer 5,000 more than the home asking price, then they will not be able to put it. They would have to go back to the lender, revise the letter, get a new letter again. So if you qualify for like $700,000, get a letter for $700,000, because what that helps is if you're actually qualified for $700,000 and you are buying a home that is $450,000, the seller will say, wow, this person has a letter for $700,000. He seems to be very strong. So he will not have any problem qualifying for a property that is worth 430,000 or 450,000. So you will have a better chances of getting your offer accepted with the maximum amount of pre-approval letter. Okay, that's very important. Second thing is find a good real estate agent. There are multiple different points that you can actually use. Make sure they have bought and sold homes, not someone who just have written exams and just have maybe just helping a buyer or maybe help seller sell properties. If somebody have bought and sold the home themselves, then they will be able to tell you that they can help you better. They should have at least done 10 transactions, because what happens is that when somebody is new, in the first 1 to 5 transactions, they're actually learning. Like for an example, if you are a programmer, if you are a developer, if you're a network engineer, the first 5 to 10 programs you're going to write, you're going to have a lot of errors in it, right? So after writing 10 programs or 10 use cases, then you actually get better, and then you will be able to be more efficient, right? So if you're a network engineer, you're resolving cases, whatever you're doing, or you're troubleshooting, the first 10 would be rough, and after that you get better. So you don't want a real estate agent to practice his real estate or learn while you are being his client, because that can really affect you long term. Because if you're buying a house, you're going to be stuck with that house for 30 years. So a bad decision can cost you tens and thousands of dollars. That's what happened to me in the beginning 5 years ago when I was getting started as an investor. They're fast communicators. If you call them and text, they should actually call or respond to you within an hour, or at least reply you back if they're busy. And they should be motivated, right? So for an example, you're trying to get a surgery done, a heart surgery, and you wanted to get it from a doctor who is not motivated enough. He just want to do it for money, and he doesn't like his job. So he's gonna just do it whatever he can so that he can get his money and go for the day, and he's not gonna do a good job. So you want someone who is very motivated, right? Sometimes what happens is that a lot of buyers go to the top agents, the top producing agents of the entire state, which is like top 1%. They're probably doing like 50 deals a month, but they're not going to be able to spend a lot of time with you. What they will do is, okay, which house you want? Okay, you want the offer? They'll make an offer and they will send it. They will not even meet you, but they're not going to be very motivated to help you out. You want an agent who is accessible. You can meet with him, you can talk with him, you can have a coffee with him, ask him questions, and someone who can spend an hour showing you the homes, driving you around. Those are the type of people you want to work with, right? And someone who is like professional. You don't want someone that you hire and he keeps calling you and sending you homes, right? You want someone who understands your requirements. He knows like what is your timeline, right? Maybe you're buying a home in 5 months or 6 months, and you don't want somebody to keep calling you and trying to sell you something that you don't want, right? Someone who is very professional and someone who can give their inputs. I used to sell homes myself in the beginning when I was an investor, and the real estate agent will bring their buyer and will stand at the door and they will not say anything, and the buyer is confused. They don't know what to do. And I used to help them out, like giving inputs on my home, like what is good about my home, what is not good about my home, and everything, right? So you want real estate agent who can tell you, hey, you know what, I honestly feel like this home is overvalued. I think we should negotiate, or this home is undervalued. I think we should actually make a strong offer on this, or this neighborhood is good, the neighborhood is not good, the flooding is bad, the windows are bad. Anything I see, I tell my buyers so they know like what they're getting into. So that is very important. If a real estate agent is not giving you any inputs, then you don't want them, because they're advisors, right? If you go to an attorney, they will give you an advice. They will tell you, what you should be doing for this case to resolve it, whatever. Second thing is identify the home. Look at as many homes as possible. What I do is, if I'm working with anybody, I ask them like, search as many homes as you can and send me about 5 to 6 different properties on a weekday. And I will schedule all the showings on weekend. And for an example, I'll schedule like 10:30 a.m. one property, 11 a.m. one property, 11:30 a.m. another property, 12 p.m. another property. So within a period of 2 hours, the buyers are able to see about 5 homes. And then another day, another week, they're able to see another 5 homes. That allows them to learn about the market a lot more faster. If you're seeing like 1 month a home, then you will be learning very slow. Just imagine if somebody is a carpenter, right? Or and he is actually working on fixing like 10 different things on a same day, then he's going to learn his work faster. That's how it is. So if you see like 5 properties in a day, you will be able to like compare all these properties in your mind. Okay, this property had granite countertop. This property doesn't have granite countertop. This property have a lot of stairs. This property doesn't have a lot of stairs. And all those things, a comparison in your mind will allow you to make decision faster. But if you're only seeing like 1 home a month, then you won't be able to learn about the market and make decisions faster. So that's very important, that you learn faster and see as many homes as you can. or if you're not working with a realtor, you can just go to as many open houses as you can. Like go to Redfin, Zillow, type open houses today. It will show you all the open houses. You can take all those addresses, go to all those open houses and see a bunch of homes and have fun and learn about the homes. So, but if you're just sitting on a computer trying to see as many homes as you can on your phone, you won't be able to learn much, because you know because like learning about the homes is as if like, driving car. You can watch a lot of videos of somebody driving car. You're not going to be able to learn it. You have to sit behind the wheel to learn how to drive, right? So that's how it is. Go see as many homes as possible to learn the market faster and make better decision. So making an offer, right? Learn about the competition on the home. So if there is a home, let's say right next to the Microsoft office, and it's close to like mosque or church, whatever, then there are going to be a lot of people who want that home. And sometimes what the sellers do is they will list the property $5,000 or $10,000 under market value in order to create a competition. It's like a bait, right? You put a worm in the water, but all the fishes try to come to get it, right? And that's what they do. They put like, price 5 to 10,000 below market, and they will attract all these buyers. Like all these buyers started flooding in. 10, 15 people are in the house, open house, looking at each other, confused what to do. And they know that so many people are coming. So in that type of case, sometimes you have to make offer more than asking value. Sometimes buyers fight and place offer 15, 20,000 above market value. So you have to learn the competition in each of the homes. If there is a home that is on the market for a long time and nobody's buying it, then you will have a leverage. Wow, like nobody's buying it. This home fits my criteria. Now I am the buyer. I will negotiate as much as I can. So that is something that, you should understand. Also understand the value of the home. Some sellers are very greedy. They want $100,000 more than what the value of the home is. So you have to identify, okay, if this property have good materials and all that, then you can pay more for it. And decide what contingencies you want to place. Usually there is inspection and financing. So contingencies are basically to protect you, and you can back out of the contract. So if there is inspection, within 10 days, you can cancel the inspection contingency and back out. Based on inspection, you can say the knob is bad, this is bad, that is bad. And read the disclosures as well. So if there is disclosures, I just make sure my buyers read all the disclosures. If there is any problem with the house, the owner will mention in the disclosure form so that you know better. And the second thing is, if the offer gets accepted, you have to make an earnest money deposit. In order to make the contract valid, you need earnest money. So the thing with earnest money is, it's like, okay, how do you know that you're going to buy this house? You can sign the contract. What if you disappear or go to India or go to some other planet? Nobody can find you, right? Or you can give a fake phone number or a fake email or whatever, and then you can disappear after you sign the contract that you're going to buy the house. So in order for you to not run away and have some security, they want a deposit like 5,000 or 10,000. If the homes are closer to 300,000, you're buying home really, really far in like Tukwila or Kent, and home values are like 300, 350, you can put $5,000 down. And, or if the home value is 500,000 or more, $10,000 is a standard earnest money deposit. And this earnest money deposit is to be submitted within 2 business days of the contract. So let's say that you made an offer of $500,000 and that $500,000 offer got accepted on the house. Within 2 business days, you have to write the check and deposit the earnest money. If you don't deposit within 2 business days, the contract will be canceled. So I have one buyer who was saying, you know what, I just want to make an offer on this property. If it accepted, I'm gonna like decide for like 2 days if I want to buy this property or not, because if I don't want to buy the property, I'm not going to put my earnest money down and it's going to be canceled, right? But that is not the right approach, because you can be at risk at that point if you do that multiple times, and somebody can complain about you, and they can look at your history. If they get multiple complaints, if you're doing this in multiple properties, that you are signing the contracts and not paying the earnest deposit, that means you didn't have an intention to buy, you can be in trouble. So always buy the property, but if you want your earnest money deposit to be protected, let's say you're going to put $10,000 and you're worried, what if there are problems in this home? You can put $10,000 earnest money deposit and put inspection contingency in the place. So within the 10 days, you will have an option to walk around the property, bring your inspector, and cancel the contract on the basis of inspection. You can say anything about the property. You can say the fireplace is ugly, or there was rust there, or the bathroom faucet was loose, or this was there. I saw a spider in a home, I saw a lizard, or something like that. And you can cancel the contract. That will protect the earnest money. Sometimes what happens is that if there is a lot of competition and there are like 10 different offers from 10 different buyers, and some buyers didn't put the inspection contingency in it, if it's a new construction or the home is very nice, some buyers will not put the inspection contingency. And what that does is that will make the offer more strong. So, but when you do that, you make sure you get a pre-inspection done. I will talk more about that in the inspection part. And the earnest money will not be payable to the seller. It will go to the title closing company, because the seller who is selling you the home could not be the real seller. It could be some scammer who is just saying that, hey, you know, this is my house, just give me $10,000 money, and he can take your money and go away. It goes to the title company. The title company is the company which does all the paperwork, all the closing. They have license with the state. They have escrow accounts, and you get receipt for your earnest money and all those things. So you have to make sure you get a receipt, or you know, or an agent can also take the check and deposit the title company and also give you the receipt. So it's the same thing. You can also request a courier to come to your home to pick it up. So if there is an title company and you have to deposit within 2 business days, you are very busy at work, you have meetings all day long, you can have the title company come to your workplace and pick up the check, and they will give you the receipt as well for it. So that's about the earnest money deposit. The most important thing is deposit within 2 business days. And if you want to protect your earnest money, put the inspection contingency in place so that you can cancel the contract within 10 days and get your earnest money back. So I just want to let you know that. So inspection, right? Inspection is usually 10 days, as I mentioned. Make sure in the inspection report, an inspector will give you like really, really big report, and you don't have to worry about everything. The main thing you are worried about in a single family home is roof, foundation, exterior of the house, if there are no cracks in the walls, and basement. You look at the basement and there are no problems, no water coming down, and leaks. You know, make sure there are no leaks and there is no mold or windows. If you want to read, if you want my inspection video, message me. I have the link to it. I'll send it to you. I did a about 30-minute session just on inspection, what things you should look for, how to fix mold, and the problem with bad windows, how bad windows can contribute to many different problems. So make sure these things are, you know, if there are no problems in these, because if the roof is bad, you have to pay maybe $30,000 just to fix the roof or update the roof. And the foundation can cost a lot of money. I actually bought a house with a bad foundation. It cost me $30,000 and it took me 4 months to fix it. So that was like the worst decision I ever made in my life. So just make sure there are no foundation issues. And also, if there are minor problems in the inspection report, you don't have to worry about it. Like paint scratches, loose doorknob, things of that sort. Because the inspector's goal is to make the report as big as possible with as many problems as possible. Because let's say I'm an inspector and you hire me and I ask you to pay me $400 and I tell you, yeah, there is one problem, you just fix it, you'll be fine. Then you're going to say, wow, like this guy didn't find any problems and he's not a good inspector, right? Like a testing team in an IT company finds a lot of errors, then you say, wow, this tester is like best tester because he found like 20 different bugs in this software that other people were not able to find. That's how you say, wow, this person is best. That's how the inspectors are. They will try to find as many problems as they can, and they will give you a big report. So you don't have to worry about the small ones, because the small ones you can fix it. But if there are any big problems, don't don't move forward with it. So I always recommend that. Appraisal. Okay, so appraisal is the most important thing that most people don't know about. Let's say that I am new to Seattle and I don't know anything about the homes here, and a seller whose home is worth $700,000 sold me the home for $1 million. I had no idea about it. I signed the contract. I paid $10,000 earnest money deposit, and now my loan officer says that we have to order appraisal. Appraisal is nothing but it's a company who have appraisers, licensed appraisers. They would come and estimate the value of the home. There are multiple different approaches they use to estimate the value. There are comparables of different homes in that area. What is the average price per square feet that is selling? If this home has new upgrades such as new appliances, there are like 10, 20, 30 different things that they take into the consideration to estimate the value of the house. So the appraisal will come and the appraisal will say that this home is worth 700,000. So I am paying 300,000 extra. They will only approve the loan for 700,000. Now, the seller will either have to reduce the price with $300,000 or they would have to cancel the contract. Sometimes they will not cancel the contract and agree to lower the price. I mean, that 300,000 is like ridiculous number. Usually the appraisal doesn't come that low. It usually comes like anywhere between 10 and 20 or 30 or $50,000. And if the appraisal comes like low, the seller have to reduce the price. The same thing happened to me. I was selling a house. I bought a house. I invested a lot of money. I fixed it and I was selling it. And the appraisal came $15,000 less. The reason why it came $15,000 less was all the homes surrounding that were low income. That was like a low income neighborhood. All the homes were selling in that area for low range and they were ugly homes. So they were comparing my home with the average value of the price per square feet that is selling in that area. So my appraisal came $15,000 less. I reduced the home value by $15,000. The reason is I know if I cancel this contract, I have another buyer come to buy my house, then I will have a same problem. That loan company will also have an appraiser come in and do an appraisal. So, but if you're buying a home through a lender, one thing you can be assured that you're not going to buy a home that is overvalued. So you're only going to buy a home that is value. But in the contract, you always have to make sure that you mention if the appraisal comes low, you will not accept it. In the financing contingency form, there is an option, will or will not. So you always have to make sure that your realtor is going to check will not. Because if you say will, then even though the lender is only giving 700,000, you have to put 300,000 out of your pocket to buy their home. And if you don't buy it, you can lose your earnest money. So you always make sure you put will not. That will protect your earnest money and you'll get your earnest money back because the financing didn't qualify. So financing contingency and inspection contingency, these two contingencies will protect your earnest money. Regardless of how strong you are, you always want to put financing contingency in there. Because if you don't put the financing contingency in there, your earnest money is at big risk. So always make sure that. So closing. So when they're closing, they will give you a settlement statement of all the different expenses you have to pay, and it will have like the realtor commissions, and that would be taken care of by the seller. But if you're a buyer, you don't have to pay any commission. it will have like the closing costs, your insurance costs, the lender costs, the title company fee, your down payment, any charges or any fees or anything you have to pay, you will get all those credits. So for an example, the seller in the beginning of the year paid the taxes for the entire year. Then at the closing, you will have to pay 6 months, and the property selling in June, then you owe 6 months of taxes. So the 6 months of taxes will be given to seller because he only lived in the property for 6 months, and the next 6 months you're going to occupy. So those things will be in the settlement statement. So you make sure that you read all the settlement statement the right way and confirm the taxes and everything with the county. Sometimes what happens, title agents have so many things to do at the closing, and what happens is that they will make mistakes, right? Because they are human beings. And when they make mistakes, what happens is, you have to pay extra. Sometimes you lose money and many things. So there have been many times that they made mistakes. I had to read all those documents, fix the errors, but most of the time they're right. 95% of the time they're good, but 5% of the time they make mistakes. And once the closing is done, you call your agent and get the keys for the home. And he will open up the lockbox and so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And another thing is that during this entire process, you have to keep these things in mind. Don't apply for any new credit cards, because the lender will do a credit check before the closing day. And if there are new credit cards, if you bought furniture on your credit cards, then your credit score will go down. There have been many cases in which after the offer got accepted, the buyers were so happy and so excited. They bought furniture, they bought cash. Actually, they bought cars, and their credit dropped significantly. Their debt to income ratio completely got messed up, and their entire loan that was approved got canceled. So that is something that is very important, that you make sure that you don't apply for new credit cards, don't buy any furniture, don't make major purchases, and also don't deposit any major amount of cash in your bank. It could raise a red flag, because the lender will read your entire statement, and they make sure that all the money that you are putting towards the house is either from your income. Most of the time it's from your income, but if you have a cash that came into your bank, they will ask, where did this cash come from? Because you cannot use any money that you cannot define where the source is towards the closing. So don't deposit any major cash amount. If you deposit like $10,000, that's fine, but that $10,000 cannot be used towards the closing. So you make sure that you don't do that. And also don't do any major transfers of cash in your bank or anything. And don't apply for any personal loans or anything. Once the closing is done, you can go buy furniture, whatever you want. And you can buy all those things with your cash that is set aside from the closing, but don't buy it on the credit cards. Because if you put money on your credit cards, that will affect your credit. And a day before the closing, when they run your credit is low, they can cancel the loan, because your loan was approved for a certain amount of credit, like 750, whatever, and your credit goes below 700, it could be affected. So just make sure to do that. So if you have any questions, anything, let me know. And also you can call and text me on my WhatsApp. It doesn't matter if you're very serious about buying a home or not, but you just want to gain some knowledge. Just let me know, and I can just help you out with any questions you have. Weekends are always better for me.
Good session, Abdul Rahman. Jazakallah khair.
Wa alaikum assalam. So, yeah. If there's any question, let me know. Okay.
No, not any questions for now. This is pretty good session.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.